Polumbus and Cecil here in the fan studios, joined by Ben Pinkelman. Ben, a 22-year-old rugby player for the U.S. men's rugby team, the Eagles. Ben, thank you very much for joining the show.
Not a problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Now, you're traveling the world, but first I want to go back to your experience for playing for Team USA in the Rio Olympics. What was that like?
Yeah, so was able to go to Rio with the team this summer. We performed not very well, so that was pretty disappointing, but just being in the Olympics is absolutely incredible, and being able to see all the other athletes and stay in the village and just everything that was going on was an unforgettable experience.
Ben, I know you're a local boy. You went to Cherry Creek High School, as did I, and I'm curious how you got your start into rugby. I went to Creek as well, not necessarily the sport that I knew the most about, and obviously nowadays it's becoming a more and more popular sport. When you were at Creek, is that where you got your beginnings?
Yeah, that's where I first played. It was pretty random. I'd never heard of the sport, never knew anything about the sport, and I played football at Creek, and my mom wanted me to do something in the spring. So I went and checked out the rugby club, and I had a horrible first practice, no idea what was going on, pretty confused. But, they've had a club since, I think, 1985, and I was able to get my start there. There's like 30 seniors when I first came out, and they were able to get me going in the right direction, and I fell in love with it.
Ben Pinkelman joining Polumbus and Cecil here on The Fan. Of course, Ben, 22-year-old rugby player for the U.S. men's rugby team. You mentioned playing football, Ben. What are the similarities and differences between rugby and football?
Well, they're both super physical. I think everyone knows that. But in rugby, you get to play both sides of the ball, so that's where a lot of people have fun with it. When they come from football, it's because you get to tackle and you get to run with the ball. Yeah, I mean, they're both really physically challenging. It's been a while since I played football.
That's
well,
all good.
And I have to piggyback on that, and I have to ask you, and I say this as respectfully as possible, and also as someone who used to ride bulls when I was younger. And when you get on 2,000 pounds of nasty, you kind of got to be a little bit crazy. I'll say that. Whenever I watch rugby and I see you guys out there in the scrums, it's super physical, it's super violent. You got to be a little bit crazy to play rugby. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit. The rugby I play right now is rugby 7, so it's the same side field, but it's only 7-on-7. So it's not as physical as what you've probably seen, because those scrums can be just absolutely destroy your body. It's really tough on your shoulders. But with all the stuff that's going on now, I also think rugby's a little bit safer for your head, because you've heard about all the Seattle tackling stuff, I'm sure. And,
right.
Yeah, there's not very many concussions. I had definitely more concussions in the 4 years I played football than I have had in the 9 years I played rugby now. Because you have to be safer with your body, because you can't use it. You can't get behind your pads and use them as protection. You have to control yourself and control what your opponent's doing in order to not hurt yourself.
Ben, talk to us a little bit about rugby sevens versus traditional 15-man squads. What's the difference in the game? Obviously, less bodies out there, but how does the game itself actually change?
Yeah, so traditional rugby is 15-on-15, and the games are 80 minutes long with 40-minute halves. There's not very much space. There's not as much scoring. In rugby sevens, it's a lot quicker version of the game. It's only 7-on-7, same size field, so there's a lot more scoring, a lot more running with the ball. The games are only 14 minutes long with 7-minute halves, but just as exhausting. Those are the big differences. Yeah.
He is Ben Pinkelman, 22-year-old rugby player for the U.S. men's rugby team. You just got back from China on a world tour. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just got back from Singapore last night at like 7:30.
Okay.
Ooh, a little jet lagged?
Yeah.
Yeah, struggling a little bit.
Where can people find more information?
Well, you can check out the USA Sevens Rugby Facebook and Instagram pages. They have quite a few followers, and they post good highlights and videos and all the things that are going on. But if you want to actually watch the games, you have to go to the World Rugby Sevens website, and they'll live stream all the tournaments that we play in. They'll have all the news about it and all the information you need.
Fantastic, and best of luck to you as rugby continues. Ben Pinkelman joining the show. Ben, we appreciate your time. Thanks, man.
Hey, good luck with everything.
Thank you, guys.